Hello, I'm George Dell and I'm here to teach you how to use a compound bow. Before we begin, we will need three things. We will need a bow, a release, and some arrows. Before we begin, we will go over some important pieces of the bow. This right here is the loop that you will use your release to grip. In between these two knots in the loop is where you will put the nock of your arrow. This right here is the peep sight. Once you have your bow pulled back, you will look through the peep sight. While you're looking through the peep sight, you will align it with the 3-pin sight right here. This will allow you to make an accurate shot. This part right here is the grip. This is where you will hold the bow with your right hand if you are left-handed, or with your left hand if you are right-handed. First, we will put on our release. If you are left-handed like I am, you will put your release on your left arm. If you are right-handed, you will put it on your right arm. You want to tighten it up against your wrist so it does not move when you pull on the end. Now that our release is on, it's time to pick up the bow. When you pick up your bow and you go to hold it, I'm left-handed, so I will hold it with my right hand. You're going to want to put your hand through this loop right here and hold the bow just below the arrow rest right here. Now when you hold your bow, you want to have a loose grip on the bow. You don't want to hold it tight. You want to have a loose grip so it can have a little give. Now that we have our grip down and have our release on, it's time to put the arrow onto the bow. When you get your arrow, you're going to want to have the odd colored vein facing up. You're going to want to slide it into the bow rest right here and all the way back to the string. You're going to want to put the nock of the arrow in between these two knots on the bow and push it all the way back so it clicks. Now that we have our arrow under our bow, we're going to talk about how to stand and how we're going to hold our arm when we go back to shoot. You're going to want to have your feet, the sides of your feet, facing the target. And when you hold your arm out, you're going to want to have a little bend in it. If you have your arm straight, when you pull the string back and let go, it will scrape up your arm. So you're going to have that little bend. Next, you're going to want to take your release, open it, and hook it onto the loop that is right behind the nock of the arrow on the string. This is what will allow you to pull your bow back, pull your bowstring back when you get ready to shoot. Now we are ready to shoot. We will stand square to the target, hold our bow out with our right hand. We will have a little bend in our right arm. We will connect the release to the loop on the string, and then when we pull back our bow, we will hold our release to a point on our cheek that feels that is not too far forward or too far back, and this will be known as the anchor point. Then when we pull back, we will look through the peep sight at the 3-pin sight at the front of the bow, and that will allow us to make an accurate shot. And this is what all the steps should look like. We're standing square to the target, arm out, a little bend. We'll pull back, hold the bow to our cheek at an anchor point, look through the peep sight and 3-pin sight, and then we will pull the trigger on the release. Now when it comes time to take the arrows out of the target, we're going to have one hand on the target, and we're going to put our other hand as close to the end of the arrow as we can, and then we're going to pull the arrow straight out of the target.